Can't go back now to those yesterdays. Can't go back now. The old days have gone away, all used up in that used up way. You can't go back now. Well, the morning wind has a winter sound. Better pack my things, time to leave this town. About to fix the motor on my camper truck. I'll be somewhere by morning with a little luck. What love I had didn't do no good, but no one ever said it would. Came from here and I'm ever there, but no one asked and no one cared. Can't go back now. Streets are paved, the highway's gone, the landscape's changed, and the old familiar places are never the same. The rents increase, they lose their lease. Big city monopolies have paved the streets for a separate feast. For the dance, little man's and Santa's chance. Giving in is like the drizzling rain, comes and goes on the window pane. I'll leave the same friends I had when I came. Cold and lonely is the name of the game. I'll follow thunder, chill the night. The Delta Mist has a special light. I'll be somewhere by morning, but I don't know where. Somewhere by morning and I really don't care. Can't go back now. Can't go back now. Can't go back now. Washed away by too many bleak dawns, too many dark nights that bring down morning song. You tried to ease the purge of drugs and nights embedded in the beatific sodium white light. Shocks of rude elements in the changing times. Between love and lust, the truth will always come back to find the mind. Can't go back now. Will you always be standing in the station, stranger with a suitcase at your side, thinking of the things you left behind, and in your heart there's nowhere to hide. Will you always be drinking cups of coffee, smoking cigarettes and humming songs, waiting for the bus to pull out in the rain? Well, you're thinking of the girl who somehow can't belong. Will you always be just a transient drifter without a place to call your own? Suitcase filled with city stickers, the one you could call your own. Will you always be just a guy in limbo, a stranger who's passing on his way, thinking of the things you left behind, and in your heart there's nothing you can say. Until one day you're standing there, the station is closed, but you always got your fare. No trains are passing through, this property is condemned. This sign means you can't go back now. Can't go back now. You be leaving and grieving, sometimes it's always in the change. Things that were never meant for you, no repent, and to bring down morning rain. All along Shed Road, the blues' song quickens in the undertow of the blues all night long. The prayers have left for the track, kneeling on the altar of denial of getting nothing back, leaving us, staying us all in the dues paying, the serpent eggs laying, dues paid. High trading, booted, bum kicked, and fried, not to be denied, the words would be heard at the side. They had apple pie and axle grease drying on their blue jeans. double clutching their lives through the harsh ambiguity of their dreams. Can't go back now. Some saw them as an alien race, others not as the strips of sunlight shattered in their face. They came with words that would be heard from the schools, universities, the jobs that failed, from the fresh railing memory of too many days in jail that paled, forgotten by those who had given them up, fearing they were ready to disrupt. Youth on the run, a generation's time, outlaw word singers like the epitaphs rhyme. They came with reason spent but never blind. The railroad earth formed the legends of their time. Epitaphs everywhere as America dies. The words slash the air with the old ancient cries. Can't go back now. Their words spoke a hungry lesson from the gas stations, garages, institutions, and jails. Your judgment wasn't protesting, the nihilistic anger or indifference politically. It came with the harsh ambiguity of the Cold War. The cloud of annihilation seeping through their pores. Can't go back now. You could see them moving there, from the back roads of California to the swamps of the bayou. They rode the mythical raft down the ancient stream. Cajun Creole, solo mio, the word was heard with their screams. Shouted their poems to the morning prairie winds. Let the dust settle where the epitaph begins. It's a hard drive. It's a hard drive. From the dust bowl to the grave. With their words that didn't sink and decay in the mouth like the plaque of conformity. Spirit jerked up from the amphetamine race that gave the chase to the sound. Their words would be heard at the crossroads of what's going down. They came from rejection and infection of the times, a disease of no ease at the edge of their minds. They dialogued their existence as chaos reigned. On the dark side of midnight, the writers they came. The words have claimed the mockery of the old good old days, hypocrisy. They said madmen roamed the face of the earth. They discovered the Genesis for what it's worth. You can't go back now. They dance like 10 angels on the wings of flight. They came with words that would be heard. Wisdom of the street made their theater seem insane. Crossroads of the world, they gave it a name. You could see them just beyond the billboard where the crack of sun was coming through the dawn. Moving there, they delivered a prayer to their life, just a fading song. Rusty cans along the highway, midnight rain would make them high. Freight trains crying, who going my way? Take you there as America dies. From the carnival circus sideshows of the night, jugglers and thieves sideshow banners that struggled in the breeze. Disfigured like geeks in the tent shows, they would creep. Stranger people would come in and take a peek. And Little Willie, the seal boy from Portland, born with a curse. The bearded lady who once was a nurse. On the platform of the carnival runway, like a G-string sideshow banner blowing in the breeze. The red-headed hoochie-coochie dancer doing her hoochie-coochie tease, setting you up for her name to please. As America began to grow younger, came the words that would be heard, nailed to the cross before the golden age of rock. Just gesticulating in God's eyes that their sounds would not be forgotten. They took to the music that came off the page, the bomb, the cloud of destruction, the Cold War that led them to the rage of sage. The birds of flight would fly off the page. Those long extended solos that sounded in the night, the pulsing beat of time exploding in their plight. At the jazz corners of America where the legends blue, they passed through the doors of enlightenment, sharing sticks of subterranean blue. Knowing down is up until the last round, ready to disrupt, they put away their horns, knowing tomorrow they would be reborn. With the first 4 bars of the eternal score, you're coming back, but you can't go back for more. Looking for your wings in the lonely flight. You chase higher consciousness balloons that would burst into clouds of neon moonscapes for a spiritual thirst, while thinking of the answers. I am was not, and God's euphoric child, the cosmic lady of circuitry who had cast her lot with uncertainty. To eclipse cybernetic wings, to ward off evil happenings, became visionary blind. Hitched her way through rituals of existential junctions, meditated on form and function. Was last seen somewhere, believed to be born a burnout fuse beyond repair. His property condemned. The roads don't go back to yesterday, the highway's gone, the streets are all unpaved. Love I had didn't do no good, but no one ever said it would. Had the same friends, had when I came. Cold, lonely was the name of the game. Roads don't go back to yesterday. It's a nightly order to be served by the Armageddon stay as it comes your way. One town after another, seemingly out of care. Dues paid, serpent eggs laid. Someone slope in despair. Some call it poetic, those nights, those days. Some call it aesthetic, but the rains washed them away. Gamble for the sun with the raindrops running through your hands. The beautiful illusions in the disappearing sands of time. They all flew over the cuckoo's nest in their perfect mind. Roll the dice more than once or twice, while the serpent's egg laid was dues paid. You roll the dice more than once or twice. You can't go back now. Fragments of time moving on, rituals of that road, just another song. Yearning for experience, moved by the restlessness of the time, emotion, seeking expression. With the hum of the earth song was the devotion. People on the move, you can see them just beyond the billboards, where the crack of sun is coming through the dawn. Standing there, they delivered a prayer to the life. Just a fading song. Rusty cans along the highway in the midnight rain make them high freight trains. We're crying who's going my way in industrial roads and the dark American tragic night, as America dies, the wings in a lonely flight. Were you coming and going? I'm sure you heard. Were you coming and going? I'm sure you heard the sound there. What's going down? What changes that compared? Freedom seekers changed by the beliefs of their generation's song, the music, the poetry. Troubadours moved along with questions and answers. I've been here before, I've been here for a while. There was a time when this place had their style. Now that's all changed, took a while. That's all changed, they need their ride. California, anywhere tide. You got no one here to stay for, no one here to love, no one here to pray for. They need a ride, anywhere. Don't know what they'll find there, but they know they gotta go. LA, San Francisco, there's much they know. Paying dues in the long field of the undertow. From the chaotic growth on the footsteps of timeless journey, we can't go back now. As the wind moans in eerie blues on the banks of the river, it sends back a song to the liver. Beatific lights are strung through the lyrical brooding darkness of the night. Under a bucking horse moon, America's singing a Arfy tune. They've had enough of society's abuse. Sometimes the orange is not in the juice. Like the phoenix, they will rise from the flames. Maybe a little insane and vain. Can't go back now is the name of the game. After the first week, the money's running low. The second week is a banner sideshow. You mimic the clown, the third is the play. The tragedy is coming around, the fourth they'll say is the last exit, don't come back until there's more. Money is what they're talking about. There's the door, you can't go back now. You can't go back now. You can't go back now. Can't go back now. Just another song that got to someone's heart, for the dreamers and the schemers whose love just fell apart. Just another song to scare with people like yourself. Another hurting story to put upon the shelf. Can't go back now. You can hear it in the sawdust floor, in the screeching trucks, in the star-spangled cowboys, in 1,000 Joe Bucks down on their luck, lost the keys to their truck to please their luck. In the silence of someone down on their luck. Just another station where the buses pull out in the rain. There's a lonesome whistle blows when you've lost that loving refrain. Songs of every life and the truth that suddenly arrives. You could see it in the eyes when it did someone in. You'll hear it in the prayers and the requiems. You can't go back now. Just another story for a hurting song. The birds never got there where the silence is too strong. Another plea for forgiveness that didn't make it there in time. 1,000 miles and burning suns from home at the end of the line. You must walk that winding road alone, Rocky, this time. Just another song where the lonely sit and drink. One more time to realize it's time you have to think. Just go back now. Just another song that makes you foolish and mean, where you get the chills and sweat in your dreams. And lonesome is a word to describe where you always seem to run and hide. It can get to you in time, no reply, no regret. At the end of the line, a hydrant's gonna fall where the tumbleweed blows. A short story will go tall where the winds of hearsay blow, and the neon's all aglow. It's a hard drive from the Dust Bowl to the grave. It's a hard drive. The epitaph says it's best, carving in the jukebox and let it home the rest. It's a hard drive. Can't go back now. People holding signs to their geography. Sac, Amarillo, Ohio, and all points east and west, north and south to Dallas, and a place to rest. Going home, Louisiana, going home, Baton Rouge, going back to Boston, Philly, and Syracuse. Some will stay up in Boulder with the friends they ran into, thinking about the days as they go older and their Berkeley dues. Forgetting the revolution, now it's all new. Passing beads and tie-dyes, blowing down the road. An old decorated bus where the peace symbols all the road. Going home, all forgiven, all's forgiven, all's forgiven. Going home, starting new. Cut your hair for a new kind of living. Thanks, but only passing through. Wondering what the world's coming to. Looking back at the dark clouds as if they knew. People won't always be like me and you. When you're looking for your wings in the lonely flight, America's a mighty big place in the darkness of the night. Standing on the highway, it was plain to see something happened here that changed you and me history. There'll always be protesting for people's rights. I remember the commitment where the fires burned bright. Never forget the darkness and the light. Passed their way, the many faces of youth and yesterday. All the movement's gone their separate ways, going home, hoping there'll be a place to stay. Never forget the spirit they gave to yesterday. Can't go back now. Can't go back now. It's the deepest of lonely when there's no one to call your own. Reminding you how far away you are, we're away from home. Why be different? You'll only be alone. People want someone to be like their own. Suspect is the individual man in tribal clan. Suspect is a man. Part of the solution, part of the fix. The 99% find them trying to get into the mix. The time is not clear. Many contradictions appear. Your trip is not mine, where you say what it's clear does on the day. Skills decline, technology hurts, as the system going berserk. Made in USA used to be the deal. You never know what's under the wheel. You better think twice before you take the brown from the rice. to roll from the dice. Beware the pause, Murphy's laws will clamp your jaws. Undermine the cause. Like a thief in the night, he'll steal your reason to be right. The islands are leaking, the deadly colors are bringing your breath to a rest. Ecological despair is being put through the test. Let the jukebox hum the rest. Do you know the tale of the three monkeys' lies? You won't find it in the shadow captain's eyes. Serena's choice wasn't always the wizard's pick. Oz never gave nothing to the Tin Man, he was already a fit. Pick it up, put it down. Leaving or grieving, it all has the same sound. You can be high trailing, boot whipped, bump kicked, or fried. Not to be denied, the Beatitudes are heard somewhere down the highway's existential eyes. At the crossroads where you can't hide, crimes of the heart will never let you pass by. The divisions are many, the boundaries disappear. Something's going down, and you realize it's near. Enlightenment comes with the natural means. Meditation and mystical experiences, some serene. A path to follow, a path to find, a path to a new way. As you're moving down the line, I need a ride, anywhere, anytime. No one cared to know, no one cared to ask. I'm looking back to the present and forgetting the blur of the past. Like a sound in a fighter's fist on the other side of tomorrow. You don't always forget the blues and the freight train moving in their sorrow. Together, side by side, where do you go and hide? The highway is a sacrifice for love that went astray. In the truck stops and late night diners where conversations bled or washed away. With squash cigarettes and cold coffee cups, silence was on the menu through the nights of their days, and you're on your way. There was nothing to disrupt, left to say, gone down, dues paid. Absurdity doesn't come with a tie or a tux. It's all ribbon tied and ready to disrupt. It's a Dropbox dream, a subway with stalls, a nightmare with closing walls. Squash loneliness, hardly any windows there. Who needs a view when there's nothing left to share? It all sounds sincere and true. How many times have I heard I love you? Rolling off the tongue, over easy and well done. In motion, ready to change, like a solitary man rolling down the road. Who knows where he carries his load? It's a hard drive from the Dust Bowl to the grave. It's a hard drive. Pick it up, put it down. What goes around comes around. The highway begins to fade away like a fake in a dream that went astray. The afterthought of love returns to find love's face, but but the harsh mistress of the night may have taken its place. Now just a tear in your tattered tramp shiny jeans. At the crossroads where you can't hide everything it ever seems. The blues and the freight trains are running side by side. Crimes of the heart won't let you pass by. Disparities pile high. If there's an epitaph that says it best, carve it in the jukebox and let it hum the rest. Slipping and a sliding in a funky town, losing the call for many last round. Pick it up or put it down, what's going, coming round? Dues paid. What happens when you're not plugged in? Silence becomes a roar from within. When the trip is not the trip you wanted to take, and you're stripped of your abilities like the icing in the candles from the cake. Talk about revolution as you go your way. Where's the solution? You can say. Many bright minds, theories abound. Are the issues lost or found as they move to the underground? In a short time, it's all in the rearview mirror, disappearing in time, in the mind. The images of America were changing in pulse and beat. It's a journey we benefit from, our soul to keep. There was trouble in the country of the blind. The one-eyed king lost his loving rhyme. Lost in the words were lost in the song was lost in the time of the need to belong to the celebrations of the mind. The epitaphs were never rhymed, casting the shadows of dying suns, never shared. The changing times in the country of the blind were always there. You can't go back, you're too close to the fire. Orpheus, you look back, then the dream will expire. 1,000 sourceless voices, songs of empty lives, about that truth that suddenly arrives and departs. The hard times, long goodbyes. Nobody stayed to love you, nobody said to care. Just crimes of the heart were following you there. You had nothing to give, just a spirit in your eyes. Nothing to give but love's sweet surprise. With the first 4 bars of the eternal score. Be coming back, but you can't go back for more. Looking for your wings in the lonely flight. You chase higher consciousness balloons that would burst into clouds of neon moonscapes for a spiritual thirst, while thinking of the answers. I am was not, and God's euphoric child, the cosmic lady of circuitry who had cast her lot with uncertainty. To eclipse cybernetic wings, to ward off evil happenings, became visionary blind. Hitched her way through rituals of existential junctions, meditated on form and function. Was last seen somewhere, believed to be born a burnout fuse beyond repair. His property condemned, The roads don't go back to yesterday. The highway's gone, the streets are all unpaved. The love I had didn't do no good, but no one ever said it would. Had the same friends, had when I came. Cold, lonely is the name of the game. Roads don't go back to yesterday. It's a nightly order to be served by the Armageddon stay as it comes your way. One town after another, seemingly out of care. Dues paid, serpent eggs laid. Someone slope in despair. Some call it poetic, those nights, those days. Some call it aesthetic, but the rains washed them away. You gamble for the sun with the raindrops running through your hands. The beautiful losers in the disappearing sands of time. They all flew over the cuckoo's nest in their perfect mind. You roll the dice more than once or twice while the serpent's egg laid was dues paid. You roll the dice more than once or twice, but you can't go back now. Fragments of time moving on, rituals of that road, just another song. Yearning for experience, moved by the restlessness of the time, emotion, seeking expression, where the hum of the earth song was the devotion. People on the move, you can see them just beyond the billboards, where the crack of sun is coming through the dawn. Standing there, they delivered a prayer to the life, just a fading song. Rusty cans along the highway in the midnight rain make them hide freight trains. A crying who's going my way in industrial roads. Dark American tragic night as America dies, their wings in a lonely flight. Were you coming or going? I'm sure you heard. Were you coming or going? I'm sure you heard the sound there. What's going down? What changes that compare? Freedom seekers changed by the beliefs of their generation's song. The music, poetry, troubadours moved along with questions and answers. I've been here before, I've been here for a while. There was a time when this place had their style. Now that's all changed, took a while. That's all changed, they need their ride. California, anywhere tide. They got no one here to stay for, no one here to love, no one here to pray for. They need a ride anywhere. Don't know what they'll find there, but they know they gotta go. LA, San Francisco, there's much they know. Paying dues in the long field of the undertow. From the chaotic growth on the footsteps of timeless journey, we can't go back now. As the wind moans in eerie blues on the banks of the river, it sends back a song to the liver. Beatific lights are strung through the lyrical brooding darkness of the night. Under a bucking horse moon, America's singing a Darfy-Arfy tune. They've had enough of society's abuse Sometimes the orange is not in the juice. Like the phoenix, they will rise from the flames. Maybe a little insane and vain. Can't go back now is the name of the game. After the first week, the money's running low. The second week is a banner sideshow. You mimic the clown, the third is the play. The tragedy is coming around, the fourth they'll say is the last exit, don't come back until there's more. Money is what they're talking about. There's the door, you can't go back now. You can't go back now. You can't go back now. Let's have one more for the life they would dream they could live. One more for the love they felt they could give. That we rise and we gather, the weak and strong if they fall. Let's strengthen them all that never came back. The rose and the petals that fell in their tracks. One more for the dreamers who stayed too long at the fair. For the winners and losers who came seeking them there. For the common belief that the prize would be theirs. One more for the able, the weak and strong. One more for the road that they traveled along. For the good and the bad times that follow in time. Down the line, one more rocky, the morning sun will shine. To lighten the journey as they moved along. To look in your heart and you'll hear it is in time and mind. If you look to your heart, you'll hear it in mine. One more for the piper, ooh, someone must be paid. The party's now over, the crowds have gone away. Let's drink to them all who never came back. The rose and the petals that fell in their tracks. If you look to your heart, you'll hear it in mine. A song for the weary and the troubled and the blind and the mind. One more for the life they dreamed they could live. Let's have a toast to the health of all. That we rise and we gather. That we rise and we gather, the weak and strong if they fall. Let's drink them all, let's drink to them all that never came back. The rose and the petals that fall in their tracks. One more for those who flew over the cuckoo's nest. Almost shot down by the men in white. They put up a fight, laid them all to rest, flying over the cuckoo's nest. One more for the crack of sun that's coming through the dawn. Prayer to their life, just a fading song. One more for the midnight rain that would make them run and hide. The blues in a freight train running side by side. One more for the carnival, the circus, the sideshows, the windless banners blowing down the road. One more for the night, the dancing tin angels on the beatific rooftops. The jugglers, the fools, the thieves, and the beautiful losers who came to dream. One more to wear, to be nailed to the cross before the golden age of rock gesticulating to God's eyes. Their words would not be forgot. Their sounds wouldn't be forgot. One more for the music that came off the page. Clouds of destruction, the Cold War, the rage. One more for the legislation, the legalization of time. The words they dreamed of the genesis of worth the mind. One more for the sit-ins, the strikes, the long picket lines, where no day has a face unlike the next for the generation's time. One more for the decorated bus on the side of the road, where the peace signs all arose. One more for the celebrations, what's that sound going down? One more for the feelings clinging to the rituals of fire and rain. Between heaven and hell, holy barbarians they came. You can hear it in the screeching of the trucks. Those Joe Bucks down on their luck lost the pleas to their shuck. You can hear it in the blues and the freight trains running side by side. You can see it as a thumb becomes the existential eyes, pointing to the highways for the visionary bride. People down with nowhere to hide. You can feel it for those on the outside who have lost their way. Tomorrow won't be looking back to yesterday. It will be all in the rearview mirror as you pull away. You hear it, fear it, be near it, stay clear of it, hide it, deny it, beside it. You can't pick it up or put it down. What goes around comes around. The I Ching doesn't always mean a thing, and the magic of the dice don't always think twice about the roll. You can't cast away suspicion as if you've always been told. The existential highway has a winter sound. Howling winds are heard all from the underground. As it echoes the dark, brooding, beautiful plains, stretching long across the miles and miles in the fire and rain. America begins to grow younger in numbers. The men who have given up their own freedom to Indian love calls that echo in the ecliptic shadows as oblivion cracks through glass red on the floors of bleeding prophecies. Women who have watched fear unmask in their eyes and years only to cast back shadows in the dark edges and the women who have waited through the fear and mask in the faceless years, women who have watched fear mask the faceless years, only to dry out in the solos of clowns, men who have swallowed them whole, only to spit out their aloneness, the windows of the wind, Walindas in the wind. Everything else is not to be forgotten when they've tasted all the fruits of the quickly rotten. Women who have had to go back for the last call to be served by the red-robed jurors of the night against a backdrop of red horses moving through glass across a crystal graveyard, a mural of marriages gone debris. Can't go back now. You can't pick a fiery solo out of the highway's existential plucked strings. An acoustical silence under the belly of the song that you will sing. As the Beatitudes pass you by, beatific lights are strung past the fable and mystery of time that broods in the images of the mind, and time in motion, in the night, in the dark of sleeping, in the silence, and the river that runs through us, and the lost faces, the lost celebrations, the lost mystery of creation. Gotta get back to Jamestown. I need a ride, nowhere to hide. Gotta get back to Jamestown. Thunder and lightning moving through the rain. Gotta get back to Jamestown. Teach me how to know the mountains that reach somewhere near the sky. Gotta get back to Jamestown. There's nowhere to hide. There's no detour for us to share. Only the mountains there. It's a hard drive. Gotta get back to Jamestown. Gotta get back to Jamestown. So much forgotten, so much recalled, so much underbelly of going through it all. It follows you around, leaves you feeling the upside of down. What goes around, comes around. Moving through the silence of the brooding earth, the mystery of darkness, and the staccato rhythm of For What It's Worth. Ticking time in the river have always been here. Shadows cross the moving highway, across the acoustical earth. The bridges, the plains, the time in the river, the bridges and plains. Time in the river, these are the songs that make up their mind. The political and social changes and the compromising time. Under a bucking horse moon, sometimes those in charge sing an Arfy-Darfy tune. Lost in the shadows of burning suns on the run, separate from some, searching to be in one. Feeling done and overcome, it's been said the race has already been run. The existential song of one and being alone from home, blowing down the highway like a rolling stone. Let's have one more for the life they would dream they could live. One more for the love they felt they could give. That we rise and we gather the weak, the strong, and the fall. That strengthened them all that never came back. The rose and the petals that fell in their tracks. One more for the dreamers who stayed too long at the fair. For the winners and losers who came seeking them there. With a common belief that the prize would be theirs. One more for the able, the weak and the strong. One more for the road that they traveled along. For the good and the bad times that follow in time. Down the line, one more rocky, the morning sun will shine. To lighten the journey as they moved along. To look in your heart, and your hear it is in time and mind. If you look to your heart, you'll hear it in mine. One more for the piper, who someone must be paid. The party's now over, the crowds have gone away. Let's drink to them all who never came back. The rose and the petals that fell in their tracks. If you look to your heart, you'll hear it in mine. A song for the weary and the troubled and the blind and the mind. One more for the life they dreamed they could live. Let's have a toast to the health of all that we rise and we gather, that we rise and we gather, the weak and strong if they fall. Let's drink them all, let's drink to them all that never came back. The rose and the petals that fall in their tracks. One more for those who flew over the cuckoo's nest, almost shot down by the men in white. They put up a fight, laid them all to rest, flying over the cuckoo's nest. One more for the crack of sun that's coming through the dawn, prayer to their life, just a fading song. One more for the midnight rain that would make them run and hide. The blues in a freight train running side by side. One more for the carnival, the circus, the sideshows, the windless blanners blowing down the road. One more for the night, the dancing tin angels on the roofs of rooftop dreams, the jugglers, the fools, the thieves, and those who came and laughed and screamed. One more to wear, to be nailed to the cross before the golden age of rock, gesticulating to God's eyes. Their words would not be forgot. Their sounds wouldn't be forgot. One more for the music that came off the page. Clouds of destruction, the Cold War, the rage. One more for the legislation, the legalization of time. The words they dreamed of the genesis that worth the mind. They said they were moved by words connected to the stars. The highway is just a road to follow who you are. Feverish excitement followed the celebration everywhere. It was the sound of their existence, the things that made them care. The age of not why but how. They came with reason spent but never blind, the railroad earth for the legends of their time. Epitaphs was everywhere. As America dies, America began to grow younger in numbers with the ancient cries. They found solace in the movement where they dwell, the holy barbarians between heaven and hell. They spoke of hungry lessons from the gas stations, garages, institutions, and jails. It wasn't just protesting. It wasn't nihilistic anger or indifference politically. They came with the harsh ambiguity of the Cold War, the cloud of annihilation seeping through their pores. The smell of Mary Jane filtered the air. Down in the bowels of the night, a subterranean affair. Why stay when there's nothing left to say? Dues paid, the serpent eggs laid. A little scramble, but the grand slam is on its way. To tell of faith, be brief, he won't hear it, especially grief. Promises made you couldn't keep. Free love gets you deeper than deep into the creep of time. Well, the dreams you have won't be responding to the redeemed of your mind. They've been places people have seen, knowing things are done. They have followed stars moving through the highway's eyes. only to burn out where pimp astronomers dictate constellations in their lives. Astrological partners in a dance of revolving doors under the strangest of moons on the wastelands of their shores. A property condemned, fingers pointing at them. The pointings of the night court stick the asylum heads for the weary bench warmers, whose last wish to sleep through the dead, provoked by the king's reel their soul to keep. The magistrates of the nights dialogue as if they were sheep. As a chorus from the dungeon of Manhattan's lost city cries, singers of the floaty opera, aria, a pity they can't be denied. Property condemned, fingers pointing at them. He lived life without a net under them. Tomorrow was never not why but how. In the circus of the mind, it's always the existential cow. There was trouble in the country of the blind. The one-eyed king was always changing in his rhyme. Fingers pointing at them. Image of America changed and pulse and beat is the journey we benefit from. Always put in the heat. Staccato rhythms of the streets were not to be denied. The magicians and physicians were always on the fly. There's a tireless communion between themselves and their drive. At the very bottom, trying to keep their truth alive, isolated in their booth in their hive. Something inside couldn't be denied. There's reason to live for tomorrow, for all their sorrow they couldn't say goodbye. The odds were against them not to be denied. They said they would fail, fingers pointed at them with the sirens wail. Born to the end of struggle are you, no time to hesitate until you get through. A prison in your own demise, in your own device, where you can roll the dice but don't think twice. If there's an epitaph that says it's best, carve it in the jukebox and let it hum the rest. It wasn't the woulda, shoulda, coulda. If I did but didn't do, you always knew you shoulda, as it all comes back to you. The beautiful losers who dared to dream chased their tomorrows while the clowns laughed and screamed. Illusion's own users who followed the sun. They'll look for tomorrow, for the rainbow that is won, never undone. Heroes are lost, heroes are found at any cost. You're either up or down, and inches a mile to miles or half away from where you are. The highway is just the road signs to follow who you are. It's straight arrow to the highway on a natural out to roam the journey. That's what it's all about. Kicking it out of the blues tubes, doing a blubber-dub-dub. It's a wing-wang of the cue stick, doing an existential 8, trying to get it straight. Cue clicking off the gambler's fade. It's a cross-town journey between heaven and hell. It's a long, hard ride where the holy barbarians dwell. It's a hard drive between the Dust Bowl to the grave. It's a hard drive. Go on, Jack, take 'em down the tracks. Second Avenue knows your flashing heat. They heard you were jailed in Arizona, a spider of the streets. The streets have kept your ledger of madness and events, while children of the broken skylines have invited you into their psychedelic tents. Descendants of the rainforest trying to pay their rent. Between hooker and saint, silver lady spun their dreams, and the vapor of your blood has scattered poetic dust in your jeans. Knowing the winged flight of the long shot dream. Go on, Jack, all the others have left for fame. You're the poet in residence of the East Side morning game. The echoes are appointed by the ghosts who once were there. Your words are still shaken from the chaos in the air. Go on, Jack, you the hipster, the poet who boogied in your mind. A baritone humper-dumper before the electric time. Go on, Jack, take him down the track in your saxophone suit and your jelly roll shoes. A baritone humper-dumper playing the little blues. Go on, Jack, you can't go back now to fragments of the American experience, or what it might have been to those days of yesterday. All the avenues gone, paved, cut off, no detours to show the way. You can't go back now to the landscapes that are not there yesterday. Bulldozed by the memories of time and change. Those seekers of dreams trying to find the morning rain. For rituals and magic and mythical guidings. For the tribes of natural living. We can't go back now for those days of celebrations, now pulsed by fiery electric strings. Celebration of the American dance. We can't go back now. We've lost that romance. The wind moans in eerie blues on the edges of the earth. Sends back a song to the banks of the river for what it's worth. Beatific lights are strung through the lyrical brooding darkness under a bucking horse moon, singing an Arfie-Darfie tune. Darkness will fall like strange shapes in our lives to form chaotic growth on the tireless footsteps of our journey. Can't go back now. As the wind moans an eerie blues on the banks of the river, sends back a song to our life for us to deliver. Beatific lights are strung through the lyrical brooding darkness under a bucking horse moon. America singing an Arfie-Darfie tune. You can't go back now. Can't go back now. I'm sure you saw the change, the rivers of bridges, the mountains of plains, freedom seekers, legislation and time. Not why, but how you followed in mine. Passing beads and tie-dyes blowing down the road. An old decorated bus with the peace signs all the road. Going home, all forgiven. Going home, start anew. Cut your hair for a new kind of living. Thanks, but I'm only passing through. Standing on the highway, it was plain to see. Something happened here that changed you and me in history. There'll always be protesting for people's rights. I remember the commitment where the fires burned so bright. Those bright eyes of yesterday that passed along the way. Those many faces of our youth that came and went their way. All the movement's gone, going now their separate ways. Going home all forgiven, going home all forgiven. There'll be a place to stay, a new kind of living, but I'll never forget the spirit they gave to yesterday.